everyone, my name is Okwandia and I'm the sales engineer at ElectroNeek. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to activate an email trigger and also how to use the for each email activity to iterate through a series of emails to perform a set of actions. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. I'm going to start out here inside of my email activities and I'm going to be choosing the email trigger. Now that I have I'm going to identify the host and login. So this is where I want to find my trigger or where I would like to activate my trigger from, which inbox. So I'll go ahead and choose my Gmail, and then I'll select my server, which is Google. And here I'll have the ability to identify if I wanted to download that email, if I want to mark it as read, if I want to move to a folder, if I want to wait for any email to appear, or if I want to wait for a specific email to appear. So I'm going to wait for a specific email to appear. And the email contents that I'm going to be pulling is from our test email, which would be located here. This is going to be my test email that I'm going to use to activate the email trigger. So in this case, I have the subject line as demo email, and we have here demo email 1 being the body. I'm going to go back into Studio Pro, and I'm just going to put subject contains. So I'm going to check that box, click on this arrow to see my drop down. And then in the field below, I'm going to put demo email. And I'm going to go down here to email sender, and I'm going to identify in this field who I assume this email is coming from or who I expect this email to come from. All right, and now that we have those terms identified, we can now identify our stop waiting time. So we can say, I want to stop waiting for this email and a specific amount of seconds. So I'll say we'll stop waiting after 20 seconds. And then now we can set up our trigger branches to say that if this email is found, then I would like to perform a set of actions. So for the first branch being yes, I'm going to have a message go to the console log. This message is going to say that email is found. And I'm going to put it as a success. Once I change the type for my identifiers, info will be assumed to be just preceding info to the console log. This text font is normally white. For a success error, you'll normally see a green font inside of the console log. For any warnings, you will see those to be orange, and your error will be red. So since this will be on the yes branch, I'll keep it as success, and it will return to be a green font. And for no, we're also going to populate some information to the console log. In this case, we're going to say that the email was not found. And I'm going to put this one as error. Now let's go ahead and run this workflow and activate this email trigger. Alrighty, and we can see that email is found below in the console log. Let's say now we wanted to iterate through a series of emails to search for specific email context. We can go into emails and for each email. Now I'm going to pull this one down so we have a good clear spot and a good clear screen to work on. So we're having our for each email here. And I like to read my emails before I go into the for each emails. So I'll put read emails here and then it'll give me a variable. This variable can be used throughout the workflow as well to reference the context from the read emails. So I'll go ahead and start with my read each email and I'll identify what inbox that I want to read emails from. In this case, I'm going to indicate my Google and select my server, which would be Google. And I can indicate a date or filter by a status. I can also filter by content, which is what I'll be doing for this portion. So here we're going to be looking for the demo email. And I'm going to be indicating my sender. So here is where we can put in the email that we anticipate the email to come from. We can indicate if we want to interact with the attachments, whether it be downloading an attachment. We can have the ability to sift through the mail folder name, and we also have the ability to set some email limits here on how many emails this will iterate through. I'm just going to put 10 emails, and it can mark them as read if they haven't been read, or we can leave them unread. I'll go ahead and leave this as marked as read. The next thing that we're able to do here is in our for each email, we need to indicate here our inbox, again our server settings, and our filtering. I'm going to be using the same filter parameters that I used in my read emails because again, I'm just focused on the demo emails. Okay, demo email and sender. All right, and I'm going to unmark these as read because in my read emails I have as mark as read. So now I'm going to say for each email I want to populate some information. We're going to do the console log again. But before I get to this step, I'm actually going to detach this and we're going to run the first part of the process, which would be the reading of the emails. So I'm going to move this over and then I'm going to hit right click, start from here, and I'm going to start by reading those emails and then returning the email messages. Okay, and if I open up the console log there, we can see that the bot finished successfully. Now I'll open up the variables and I'll get the returned information on the emails, in which we can see here we have our demo email and our demo email. So now let's say, for example, for each one of these emails or for any piece of context in this email, we wanted to populate it elsewhere. So I will go back into my canvas and attach this email messages back to our for each email. Right, so I'll go ahead and attach this. And now I can attach this below, and we will say for each email, we want to populate the email messages data. So here I'll hit calculate a value and I'll put email messages. And then I'll leave that as info. Now let's go ahead and run this workflow now. Okay, open up the console log, and we can see that it populated the information for each one of those emails. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to activate email triggers and how to use the for each email activity. Thank you.